Fujifilm X T30 Review. A feature-packed mirrorless camera that impresses. Fujifilm has had many successes with its X series cameras since it launched the range, with its rangefinder-style X Pro line and DSLR-like XT models being particular favorites. But it's the X T20 that's become the company's best-selling X series model to date. With key features inherited from the more advanced X T2 and a far more attractive price, it's easy to see why. But following the arrival of the X T3, it seemed obvious that an update to the X T20 wouldn't be far away. Fujifilm X T30 at Amazon for $899. Much like before, the X T30 pinches the best bits from the X T3 and delivers them inside a smaller, lighter, and cheaper body. Fujifilm has kept enough extra inside the X T3 to warrant offering both cameras, but for most people the prospect of having so much of that camera inside a cheaper and more practical body makes it the obvious better choice. Features: 26.1 MP back illuminated X-Trans APS-C sensor, 4K DCI and UHD recording, up to 30p, 8 fps burst shooting, up to 20 fps with electronic shutter. The X T30 makes use of the same APS-C sized 26.1 MP X-Trans CMOS 4 sensor as the X T3, and this has been designed with a backlit architecture to help it gather light as effectively as possible. The camera also gets the same X Processor Pro 4 engine as the X T3, although the lowest sensitivity in the ISO range is ISO 160 rather than the X T3's ISO 200 base, which is good news if you tend to shoot outdoors in bright light, particularly with wide aperture lenses. The ISO range stretches all the way to ISO 12,800, although for those times when it's absolutely necessary you can extend this to an option equivalent to ISO 51,200 at the upper end, and down to an ISO 80 equivalent. As with every other interchangeable lens X series model, the camera makes use of the company's X series lens mount. This currently accepts the 29XC and XF lenses that have been developed for the system so far, in addition to two video-specific Fujifilm MKX optics, and a small handful of third-party options from the likes of Samyang and Lensbaby. That's not quite as extensive as the options available for some rival systems, but most casual users will probably find the lens they need without too much bother. There's no image stabilization system incorporated into the camera itself, which means you need to make sure the lens you're using has this if you want to take advantage of it. This isn't uncommon on cameras of this sort. Neither the Sony a6400 nor the Canon EOS M5 has in-body stabilization, although the Panasonic GX9 and Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II do, and it does at least help to keep the body as compact as it is. The upgraded processing engine brings with it the film simulation modes that have long been a draw of the X series. The X T30 gets 16 options, which include 6 variations of the black and white and acros settings, in addition to long-standing options that mimic the company's Provia, Astia, and Velvia emulsions. Fujifilm has also included the latest video-centric Eterna film simulation option here, while the color chrome option that sits alongside it is targeted at those wanting to retain the fine details in saturated subjects such as flower heads. The X T3's monochrome adjustment effect, which enables slightly warm and cool biases to be added to black and white images, and the grain option, which allows for slight texture to be introduced, have also been included, as have a collection of advanced filters such as toy camera, miniature and soft focus. Like the X T20, the X T30 is capable of recording 4K video in addition to 1080p footage, but Fujifilm has strengthened this even further here. 4K video can be captured at a maximum 30p with 10-bit 4:2:2 output through the HDMI port and 8-bit 4:2:0 internal capture, while if you switch to full HD recording you can shoot at up to 120p for slow motion output. It doesn't quite gain all the capabilities of the X T3 here, as that camera can record 10-bit 4:2:0 footage internally and can shoot 4K footage to a maximum 60p, but for the average X T30 user this is a concession they'll probably accept. Sports and action photographers are particularly well catered for by the X T30. This is thanks in part to improvements to the autofocus system, discussed later on, although it's also helped by the inclusion of the X T3's Sports Finder mode.